Good morning, brothers and sisters in Christ, and happy 22nd Friday in Ordinary Time. In our gospel today, Jesus speaks about fasting. Well, what is fasting? Why, as Catholics, do we fast? Well, on the one hand, it's one of the 5 precepts of the church. Precepts of the church are kind of the basic requirements for remaining in right relationship with God and with His church, the Catholic Church. And the 4th of the 5th precept is about fasting and abstinence. Let me read it for you. This is what it says. The 4th precept, you shall observe the days of fasting and abstinence established by the church, ensures the time of ascesis and penance, which prepares us for the liturgical feasts and helps us acquire mastery over our instincts and freedom of heart. So on the one hand, it's talking about the official days of fasting that the church sets. In our case, Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. And on these days of fasting, we're to have 1 meal and 2 small snacks. 1 meal, 2 small snacks. And when we do this, it's not easy. It hurts a little bit. It's difficult. And it should be. That's the whole point. Because, as this precept puts forth, it's about preparing ourselves. It's about self-mastery. It's about freedom of heart. So on the one hand, we go without when we fast. We eat less food, right? In order to prepare ourselves for a great feast, a great celebration, so that we can really rejoice or go big, you might say. But it's also helping us desire or develop self-mastery, so self-control, right? You know as well as I do, there's some really good food out there. And when we say no to it, it pulls at our heart. It's not easy, but we're growing stronger. We're flexing our spiritual muscles, so to speak, to say no to this particular thing, maybe for today or for a set period of time. Maybe tomorrow I'll have that, but not right now. That's good for us. It helps us have control so that we're not slaves to our passions. Lots of people, especially in the area of food and drink, they are total slaves. They don't actually have control. They have one drink and another, and they can't really stop it. They have one bite and then another and another and another. They're not really in control. And so fasting helps us remain in control. Why? So that then we're truly free. Freedom of heart. Because we can say no in this moment, it means we can say yes in this moment. We have freedom. And ultimately, our entering into this discipline, the discipline of fasting, the spiritual practice of fasting, helps us say yes to God in all the various areas of our lives, in our moral choices, in the words we use, right? When we say no, like on the level of food, it actually helps us say no in other areas of our lives, to other types of sins in our lives. It helps us to say yes to doing that which God asks us to do, His will for our lives. So fasting is very powerful. Like I said, the church has these official days of fasting. But brothers and sisters, we can fast regularly. In fact, I think with every meal, we should be fasting. Now, not in big ways per se, but small, regular, constant, you might say, fasts. What do I mean? Basically, for example, at every meal you could eat, make a fast out of, or a little sacrifice out of eating more of what you don't really like as much, or eating more of that which is healthy for you, like your vegetables, right? Or maybe you're going to say, I'm going to forego that little indulgence at this meal. Not that it's sinful, I'm going to have no salt on my dinner tonight, and that's going to be a little sacrifice, a little fast. It'll pull at my heart, but at the end of the day, no one else is going to really notice it. It's going to be good for me. And developing that self-mastery and freedom of heart. I'm going to have, no cream in my coffee today, no sugar in my coffee. Little things we can do on a regular basis that help expand our hearts, that help us grow in freedom, that help us say no to kind of our passions and our inclinations, and help us to say yes to the things that God has in store for us. So brothers and sisters, let's go to Mother Mary and ask her to help us to be men and women who can fast, who can say no to our passions, who can have real freedom of heart to say yes to our Son Jesus in all things.